Hi guys, welcome back to Fact Evolved, and today we're going to see weird and rare spices of cat. Let's get started. There are wild cats on this planet that do things domesticated cats cannot even approach. Not faster versions of the same behavior, entirely different capabilities, built by completely different evolutionary pressures, running in bodies that look like cats but operate like something else entirely. Caracal. The caracal is a medium-sized wild cat found across Africa, the Middle East, and parts of Central Asia, and it is built almost entirely around one specific hunting ability that most people who have seen the videos still do not fully believe. It catches birds mid-flight. Not occasionally, and not by accident, a caracal will locate a flock of birds on the ground, approach with controlled patience, and then launch itself vertically into the air at the exact moment the flock takes off. The vertical leap reaches close to 3 meters from a standing position. That is roughly the height of a standard ceiling in most homes, achieved instantly from completely still. What makes this more unusual is the precision involved. A caracal does not leap and hope. It times the jump to intercept a specific bird at a specific point in the air, calculating the trajectory of something moving fast and unpredictably. And it does this well enough that single leaps resulting in 2 birds caught simultaneously have been documented multiple times. The long black tufts on the ears are not decorative. Researchers believe they function as communication signals between caracals moving through tall grass, working similarly to how a raised hand might signal position to someone far away across a crowd. Each ear is controlled by 20 separate muscles, allowing both ears to rotate independently, pointing in different directions at the same time, locating the precise origin of a sound with an accuracy that lets the cat detect small animals moving underneath the surface of the ground. In parts of South Asia, caracals were historically trained by regional rulers to demonstrate their mid-air hunting ability as a form of competitive sport. Margay. The margay is a small spotted wild cat from the rainforests of Central and South America, and it holds a distinction that no other cat species on Earth shares. It can rotate its hind ankles 180 degrees. Every other cat species, when descending a vertical surface, must either jump from a height or backbound slowly and awkwardly. The margay turns its back feet completely around and walks head first down a tree trunk the way a squirrel does, in full control, at speed, without hesitation. This adaptation exists because the margay spends the majority of its life above ground. It hunts in the canopy, sleeps in the canopy, and in some documented cases, gives birth in the canopy. The forest floor is not the primary environment for this animal. It is almost an occasional destination. The trees are where everything happens, and the ability to descend headfirst means the margay never has to lose visual contact with what is below it when coming down. Researchers studying margay behavior in the field documented something that sits in a category of its own entirely. A margay was observed producing calls that accurately mimicked the sound of a baby-pied tamarin monkey. The sound was precise enough that adult tamarins responded to it, moving toward the source to investigate what they believed was a distressed infant. The margay was using a specific vocalization as a deliberate hunting tool, targeting the parental response of another species to manufacture an approach opportunity. That behavior had never been recorded in any wild cat species before that observation was published. Clouded leopard. The clouded leopard lives across the forests of Southeast Asia and the eastern Himalayas, and its skull contains something that breaks the expected relationship between body size and weaponry across the entire living cat family. Its canine teeth are the longest relative to skull size of any cat alive on Earth today, proportionally longer than a tiger's, proportionally longer than a lion's. On an animal that weighs between 15 and 23 kilograms, the canines reach nearly 4 centimeters in length, a ratio that paleontologists have noted bears a closer resemblance to the extinct saber-toothed cats than to any modern felid currently living. The jaw opens to an angle of approximately 100 degrees. Most other cats manage roughly 65. That additional range is not accidental. It is the mechanical requirement for using teeth that long effectively, and the muscles and bone structure around the jaw are arranged specifically to support a bite style that differs from every other cat in the family. In the trees, the clouded leopard does something that requires a moment to properly picture. It moves along the underside of branches while facing downward, hanging from its hind legs and traveling horizontally through the canopy in a posture that resembles how a sloth moves, but executed by a predator at hunting speed. Wildlife camera footage from forest reserves in Borneo has captured clouded leopards running head-first down vertical cliff faces, moving along the underside of sloped branches with confidence, and dropping from significant heights with landings that show no adjustment period, no recovery pause. The animal simply arrives and continues moving. This is possible because the clouded leopard has unusually flexible ankle joints combined with short, heavily muscled legs that function as stabilizers rather than primary propulsion. The tail is nearly equal in length to the rest of the body and shifts continuously during movement, acting as a counterbalance that redistributes weight across whatever surface or angle the cat is currently using. Remove any one of those three features and the inverted movement through the canopy becomes impossible. Together, they produce an animal that treats the underside of a forest as accessible terrain. 3 cats, 3 completely different answers to the same problem of survival. One launches itself into open air to catch something already in flight. One carries an anatomical key that unlocks the entire vertical surface of every tree it encounters. One brings teeth from an older chapter of evolution into a forest where almost nothing else moves the way it does. The forests that hold them are still mostly unobserved, which means what has been documented so far is almost certainly not everything. Thank you.